Hey, before I kick off the podcast, I just want to shout out Next Door Clothing. Next Door, a clothing brand based out of Bondi in Sydney. They're making really nice jeans and shirts and hats. So go and check out their full range at nextdoorsydney.com. They're also artists, so you can go and check out a range of art. They put on rad parties, and I love what they're doing. So nextdoorsydney.com for the full range. Hey friends, it's Shan here. Today's guest is Nate Perry. He's an Australian surfer, skateboarder, DJ, amateur boxer, soon to turn professional. And this week's episode is just a really sincere conversation about his life, his journey through navigating sponsorships, professional snowboarding, winning competitions, and creating a lifestyle by design. You know, he lives and works between Australia and Bali, and really just living life on his terms. It was really, really nice for me because it turns out that we had a lot of mutual friends and just connected, and I'm sure that our paths have crossed numerous times over the years. So I really just felt like I was hanging out, talking to an old mate. So I just always spin out at how much this podcast just puts the right people in my path when they're ready to be on the show, and when it's like the universe needs me to connect with them, because straight away I already feel like I've got a new / old mate for life. So check it out. It's a great episode. He goes by DJ Secrt Wepn, but please enjoy my conversation with Mr. Nate Perry, everybody. Terrible happy talks. Terrible happy talks.
Yeah, good to be here, man. Whoa.
Submissive donut lifestyle.
3, 2, 1. Alright, do this. Spoken like a true MC. You are. Where do you MC at?
Fake it till you make it. I actually make my own beats and do my own rapping and everything.
Do you?
Really good friends with Deathwish Cast. Deathwish is one of my good friends.
I still love those guys.
Dude, they're still around. That's why I was going to have this conversation with you about Glenn Scott, because he had the first Aussie hip-hop crew ever known, and Deathwish told me about it the other day.
What do you mean Glenn had the first?
Glenn Scott was part of the first Australian hip-hop crew ever.
Which one was that?
I don't know, man. I have to ask him. I'm going to ask Deathwish about it again, because I sent him a message this morning. I was like, what was Glenn's hip-hop crew called? And he hasn't got back to me yet, but he'll get back to me. He's like one of my best friends in the world. He's the best dude ever. Hey, they'd be great to have on a podcast, just saying.
Deathwish Cast?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to have them.
Bro, I could get them. They would love you. That'd be sick.
That was my era. Like,
yeah, 100%. 9-5, Beastie Boys, KRS-One.
Yeah, like mid-90s, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like I said, you just said it then.
Yeah, they're the ones, man. I'm telling you, they're the kings for sure. Paul Surrect, IC, Thomas Rock, Murder One,
really?
Deathwish. Yeah, they're all the homies.
Do you remember when Glenn was in do you remember the Louisville Sluggers?
I did. I went to watch them. So where we used to have X Games in the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne. Yeah. So we'd go there and they'd play some of the shows half-time, so we'd go there for some after parties or whatever, and Glenn was on the drums or whatever. It was sick. He was always so chilled. He's like, yo, he's happy to see us and that too, always. It was sick.
He's the best. Like, his older brother Hank.
Yeah.
Basically, I grew up with him. He was older than me, and he basically just mentored me through my teens. He's still one of my best friends. I spoke to him the other day, and then Glenn on top of that, but I love those guys.
Yeah. Shout out Criminal Skateboards too.
You remember Criminal?
Bart Carnes, one of my... I keep saying this is one of my best friends, but legitimately the dudes I grew up with. You know what I mean? So Bart Carnes is like tight. I got about 40 of his boards off him.
And that's where I feel like I've met you, maybe through Bart and Skunk.
Definitely through Skunk and Bart. And Pete Raylon.
Yeah, I remember him. He used to skate for this brand called Secrt.
I used to skate for them.
Shannon Colster.
Dude, the Colsternator, bro. I used to skate for them.
I remember.
And Wayne Taylor.
Wayne Taylor.
Yeah.
Because Wayne Taylor moved to Nowra. I grew up in Nowra. And Wayne.
No way.
I haven't spoke to Wayne else.
I was about to say that. I literally used to ride for Sector. I never had a pro model with him, but that's Colster's my boy, dude. That's my boy, dude. All those dudes. That's the whole crew.
Again, Shannon was always so kind to me because I was younger again, and he was just always so nice.
Yeah,
tough as fuck.
Big unit. Did you see him? Like, he used to smoke heaps of ciggies. He was real big, and then when he stopped, now he's like a runner and shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know it. Like,
you'd see him. You'd know his head. He's around. I saw him in South Sydney not long ago. I was literally going up you know, that big intersection right before South Sydney Station. I don't know what I was doing there, but he would just come rolling around the corner. I hadn't seen him in years. And that dude had my back so much, man. He just like I was like the youngest of that whole crew, right? So we'd have that $1 comp every year.
Yeah.
And he would take me in that, put me on the Tarago and that kind of thing. And
He's Maroubra from
it's old school Maroubra. Brenny and Duzzy Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny, he actually got me a job doing roofing installation, airport sound installation. It was one of the toughest jobs ever. But paid okay. And he hooked me up because I had nothing going on. He's like, yeah, come and get a job here. And they were so tough, those guys. But they were just, he was so nice to me.
Raw though, but
yes,
toughness.
Like I would never.
Kind of breeds at that area, doesn't it? Really,
I think it did, but I think it's changed now.
It was super close to me because I was at Cronulla, right? But I'd always be at Maroubra when it first opened the skate park. All that scenario. I'd never really spent that much time in Cronulla, to be honest. I did, but I was either in Bondi skating the mini because that's where the mecca was when I was growing up, right? It was arty, kind of cool, sort of good skateboarders there. Yeah. So I'd go there or skate Maroubra, you know.
Yeah, and Bart Carnes was the king of that mini ramp,
bro. Him and Skunk, bro, hands down, still to this day, the best mini ramp skater Australia's ever seen. 100%.
And that ramp was just so good, and it was a little bit raw. Like it always needed a resurface, but the tranny on that thing was just so good.
Yeah, when Bart used to skate that thing, man, the whole place used to shake, dude. He was a machine, bro. He did the biggest hands, and just the whole place just go.
Again, just the most sincere dude. Both of those guys, and they'd smoke so much weed, and then just.
He would, bro.
I think Skunk doesn't smoke weed anymore.
Not anymore, man. He's literally on his own little trip. He's just built a house, I think, up near Cairns or something.
Yeah, he's up North Queensland.
Up far North Queensland, bought a house on stilts and he's had a kid, and Sarah's his wife or whatever, and they're cruising.
Again, just sincere. God, he charged.
He did.
He probably still does.
Man, he probably still does. I just haven't seen him in so long. I love that dude. But that whole crew was like I was the grommet of that whole crew, pretty much, you know.
Amazing. Fucking podcast. I just blow out about the people that it just brings into my path. Like, just the second I met you, it's just like instant fucking friend.
Dope. That's sick. That's so good
Thank
to know.
you, man.
No, thank you for having me, man. I can appreciate it. It's actually awesome.
So listen, man, I want to hear about you. I want to learn about you.
Sure.
So, we've established that we have some mutual friends through skateboarding back in the day, but I know you're so much more than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your life has been so much more than that. So can you just tell us, where did you grow up?
I'm originally from Cronulla Beach.
Okay.
I was there pretty much my whole growing up. Went to school there. My parents got divorced when I was super young, though, so my mum lived sort of on the western, like close to the eastern suburbs, and dad was still in Cronulla. So I kind of split the places I lived between two places, you know. So I was 11 or 12 or something like that, but I was always going backwards and forwards, you know, because I was skateboarding throughout that whole time as well as surfing too.
Interesting. Okay, here's a question. Were you skateboarding before your parents separated, or did you find skateboarding after they separated?
100% afterwards.
Isn't that fucking trippy?
Yeah, 100%. Because obviously you just kind of want to not rebel a little bit. It's probably the wrong choice of words, but you kind of just want to get out of the home because you guys got all these memories. You're like, I'm over it. Let me do something else. And believe it or not, man, a lot of people will probably say this that are skateboarders. Shout out to the real skateboarders out there. There's a family out there, bro. They look after you, mate, like a little brother. You know what I mean? As we're having the conversation before about the people that we're talking about, those dudes pretty much took me under their wing. You know what I mean? They just looked after me, and that was it. Not from that young age, but as I grew, and
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Same thing. Like I didn't want to be at home, and then I just had this new little family, and it shaped and molded me, and I just felt like I was meant to be there, part of something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it does, and so many are the same. Yeah. So how would you describe your childhood, like growing up in an area like Cronulla, which for those that aren't aware, it's south of Sydney, suburban beach town?
Yeah, suburban beach town, but it was a bit different, to be honest. There's a lot of housing commission, that kind of thing when I was growing up there, you know what I mean? So it was rougher than the average. I mean, every place has got this little rough element about it, but it was obviously a long time ago. I just turned 40 the other day, so when I was thanks very much, we made it.
You look good.
But when I was thanks, homie, I appreciate that. But when I was younger, 11 or 12, it was a little bit rougher and that kind of thing, you know. Shout out to the old Cronulla people as well. Like they kind of steered me in the right direction the best they could as well, because obviously you kind of go off the tracks a little bit, backwards and forwards and that kind of thing, but I thought I held it together a little bit, you know, but skateboarding definitely helped, and so did surfing, because it kept you out of trouble.
Yeah. School days in that area. How was school for you?
Pretty funny, actually.
Why?
Because I never really went much at all. So what would happen? I'd still go, don't get me wrong. I didn't ever go to school. I went to primary school, like full on, whatever, until my parents got divorced, and then I went to Uluwatu High School, pretty much my parents had just been divorced around that age or whatever. And there's a couple of really good surfers in my crew that I grew up with, like this guy Joel Bonning, his brother, just a few other people, and I'd go and see them at roll call every morning or whatever. I'd still go to school and I'd see Joel or whatever, and he'd be like, I was like, how's the waves this morning? He goes, it was fucking pumping. I was like, all right, cool. So I'd literally just get my bike, dude, and I'd just be out of there like straight after roll call majority of the time. There was a few others too, Hayden Freeman, there was a few others as well. But yeah.
So like, how old were you when you started surfing? When did that become part of your game?
It's a great question. Probably, I'm going to say 12, 13, I would say. Yeah, around that. It's kind of roughly speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. When you start surfing, you're kind of just kooking it anyway. Like, I'd paddle around a little bit and just get pumped, you know what I mean, until I learnt actually how to surf properly, and that was probably the first 2 years.
I was going to say, when did you actually start taking it serious, though? Because, I mean, I used to dabble, play around as a kid and a teenager. I mean, I was all about skateboarding from my early years. Surfing, I didn't really get serious till I was like 19, 20.
Yeah, I was probably a little bit before that. As I joined Cronulla Board Riders probably when I was about 15 years old. Okay. So I was surfing properly by that stage. Yeah. Shout out Alley Board Riders.
There you go, Alley. Yeah. God, so many good surfers come out of there.
So many. There's heaps, actually.
Do you know a guy called Mark Ridgway?
No.
No, okay. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
No, there's a good skateboarder called Ridgway.
That's I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But
that's where I get that name from. Yeah.
But like, what? Like, give me a comparison. Like, what was surfing doing for you that skateboarding wasn't?
Well, I started off surfing first. That was my first sort of thing that I was really, really into and super passionate about, where I'd get up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning and be psyched to get back out there and still surf with Wetty Rash and that kind of thing, you know? Yeah. But then it got to the point, man, where I just kind of got sick of relying on the waves as something to do, and it was flat, and it was flat a lot in Cronulla. Yeah. Like, it's hard to get good there, but you don't realise that when you're younger. When it's 2 foot, you're still having a great time. Yeah. But as you get on and you kind of realise, well, this is not really working out, that's when I found skateboarding. Yeah. There was dudes at the alley actually skateboarding right where you surf. And that's kind of right. I was like, oh, what are these dudes up to? And I ended up hanging out with those dudes a lot. You know what I mean? And I kind of just ditched the surfboard a little bit more and just started skateboarding more than I would be surfing.
Would you ever come across the legendary Jake Brown?
That's one of my absolute brothers.
I was going to say, are you friends with Jake Brown?
JB is an absolute killer. Shout out Jake Brown. Man, you should get him on here. That'd be the epic, dude. I've tried to get... I spoke to him last week and he's actually in Cronulla at the moment. I was just trying to get him to come to Bali.
Get him on this. Can you get him on the podcast?
100%, mate. We'll call him if you want. We'll call him live.
Okay.
Yeah?
No, really?
Yeah, we can call him right now.
I'm shy. I'm scared all of a sudden.
Nah, we'll try to call him. See what he does. We'll keep going, and then I'll call him anyway.
Oh, hilarious.
He's the bomb, mate. I'm telling you. He's a good human.
I kind of feel like Jake Brown needs to be on the 9 Club. He's that's legendary.
You know what? I think that someone has actually... I've watched the 9 Club a lot, and somebody on the 9 Club has actually said that. And they have a live section where they have requests and people coming through. Who would you like to see and who would you like to see? Yeah. And the main guy, what's his name? Chris
Roberts.
Yeah, he's like, we've had a lot of requests for Jake. But maybe he's too raw for him. I don't know what the deal is there.
The other thing about Jake, I remember the first time I seen him skate, because I remember, like, you know, the 90s, you know, vert skating was still like people were still vert skating when it was as a real thing. Everyone was into it, you know. The street skating sort of revolution hadn't really taken over. But I remember seeing him skate once, this vert ramp, this shitty portable vert ramp, and he just had such an X factor to him. Like, his feet were so light on his board and his style, and you knew you were watching something different.
A little nugget.
It was just different. It was just on this other natural level that... I'll never forget it. And then he just, you know, went to the States and blew up. And, But isn't it interesting how he became, like, really well known from that one mega ramp slam?
It's kind of, that's what his whole thing was about. But unfortunately, that's what got him across the line. But whatever works for him, you know what I mean?
It's fucking tough.
It is tough, you know what I mean? If that got him paid, holler to him, you know, but he's way better than that, you know what I mean? That's what he's known for, but that dude is way better than all that, like, I promise you. He's like a skateboarder. You speak to Bill Weiss, it's his best friend. You speak to Jason Ellis. All those boys are like, Jake Goss is the man. Anybody. Alex Perelson and Elliot Sloan, I did the Big Day Out tour with those dudes recently, probably about 2 years ago. And that Elliot and both Alex were just like, yeah, man, we see Jake all the time. He's like...
Still skating? Still ripping?
Well, I'll let him tell his story, man. I'm not going to try and jump in, but at the moment, I don't think he's skating at the present.
Just watch your beer there.
Yeah, I don't think he's skating at the present, no.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's face it, he's getting on, and he's done so much. He doesn't have to skate.
He really has.
If he doesn't want to skate, he doesn't have to. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
No, I think he's building saunas in his backyard in Cronulla right now.
I love all the street crew love him too.
Yeah, 100%. Well, he was
him.
taking the street stuff to the vert ramp, right?
Yeah.
His blind part, dude, he was taking street tricks to the vert ramp.
Because he used to street skate too. I remember, actually, he wouldn't even know this, but I remember seeing him in Martin Place, and he ollied the Prudential double set just one night, just no one around, and we were skating at night, and we're like, oh, there's Jake Brown, like, you know, just fanning out on him. But we're the same age. I'm 45.
Yeah.
And I was like, he was small like me. I'm like, he's like me, except he's way better. And then, he's just like cruising around, like, it looked like he was by himself. And he's just like, Ollie the
was he rocking the dreads then? Was he rocking the dreads?
Yeah. Those little, like, fucking home do, little skinny ones.
100% would have been home dudes.
Ones,
yeah, for sure.
Anyway, man, it's far out. Like, what an influence to have on you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, there was to a certain degree because he left pretty early to go to the States, right? But there was also other crew, like older crew around the Cronulla that were kind of good street skaters, right? And that's where it all kind of began for me was skating street until I tried to take it to the next level. Remember Sheridan's, that place at Cronulla? They had like a mini ramp in their shop and that kind of thing. So that kind of brought a lot of people together when it come to skateboarding. You know what I mean? Like It's brought a lot of people together, and then we kind of just went separate ways a little bit. People stayed street, other people sort of stayed on the ramp, and I ended up going to skating verts and bowls and whatever else.
Yeah. So, okay, so you're in sort of the Cronulla area through your teens, high school in Cronulla, Woolooware High.
Yeah.
Tell me about that first couple of years out of high school. Like, I know you said you didn't go to school, but like, you know, I always find that time when someone leaves high school, whether you liked it or not, is such a transitional, pivotal time in someone's life. What did it look like for you?
It's a good. Well, to me, I was kind of confused, mate. Really, I really wanted to go skateboarding the whole time. That's all I really wanted to do. That was literally what I woke up every day and thought about, was just going skateboarding. And to me, that was kind of an answer. At that time, I think I was riding for somebody.
Gotcha.
By that time, but yes, I was. I was riding for Volcom at that time and Sectile, actually, at the same time. Yeah, at the same time.
Amazing.
So I'd just gotten out and I was just sort of just doing that all the time. And I didn't really know what else to do, mate, to be honest. Like, I was just really confused, you know. I didn't want to work. I know that my old man was like, yo, like, if you're not gonna go to school, you got to do something.
How are you surviving?
I just hustle on the side, just doing certain things or whatever, just to get me by, I guess, you know.
Certain things?
Yeah, just certain things just to get you by, you know, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Nothing too sketchy, but enough just to get you through.
Yeah, so what, like, from that period in your time, in your life, you know, like, because I know I went through that too when I went through a real period of, like, I was so fixated on skateboarding. I was like, you know, I really want to get sponsored or I want to make a living out of it. But, you know, the reality does set in that it's very, very hard. Even if you're a really good skateboarder, you've still got to have this element of luck that occurs for you. And, you know, I get to that stage where I might have to maybe let that dream go a little bit. What did it look like in regards to your life?
Almost looking into a mirror, exactly what you said, you know, like... Yeah. You know how hard it is in Australian skateboard, even to get a board sponsor. You know what I mean, or to get a T-shirt from someone or a pair of shoes. You still have to be that element of definitely outshining everybody else to be in that little spectrum. You know what I mean? I was lucky enough a little bit to get stuff from like Volcom and a few other people that kind of helped me along the way. You know, but then it was still kind of that thing where you still have to stay on top of it. And me personally I love the party atmosphere. You know what I mean? Getting drunk and partying and DJing and going out late nights. I enjoy all that kind of stuff. So to stay on top of the ball when you're doing that kind of thing. But at the time, I didn't know that there was another way to look at it. I thought that was just what was incorporated in being a skateboarder in a way. You know what I mean? Yeah,
got you. My guest that I recorded with yesterday, he's a surfer and he's sponsored by Volcom. He also he's a comedian as well. Comedian and surfer, such an interesting dude. So tune into that episode of the Raglan Surf Report guy. His name's Luke Cederman. But he was talking about how absolutely loyal Volcom has been to their riders as a brand. Like, did you feel that?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Peanut, man. He was the dude that pretty much had my back. Yeah, same. I love that dude. He's sick.
Yeah.
Those dudes all... And JC as well, which is the main dude that owns Volcom or whatever in Manly. Those dudes were super, super good to me, like, the whole time or whatever, you know, especially Peanut. Those dudes, like... There was probably a point when the Volcom tour came out, so Rowley came out with Bashan Salabanzi, Arto Sari, and all the Melbourne Volcom skaters. But I was at a point where I didn't really... kind of, if they had said, Nate, you're not allowed to come, I would have been like, yeah, cool. But then Dustin was a good good friend of mine lived in Bondi Road, and I kind of knew him from the Bondi area, and he kind of was a bit influential in getting me on to come on the tour and stuff. And they had said, Nate, you know, you're not good enough to get on here. I would have totally understand.
Yeah.
But then when I got on, I was like, fuck, I'm not even supposed to be. I'm just going to work twice as hard to try and get some shots. And I did. I got like some good shots, and I had this thing at the Horden Pavilion where you had to skate your ass. I skated for 12 hours, just like trying to just make sure I showed my worth a little bit, you know?
Did you feel like you had imposter syndrome?
Yeah, a little bit, man, to be honest. But I got on with Rowley really good, and like I was all right, so I was cruising.
I love Jeff Rowley.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
And I love Dustin. I mean, I remember when Dustin used to do kickflip indies over every fucking hip at every skate
He's got
park.
the best kickflip indie ever.
Yeah, and then, you know, he did have an X factor, but he was just wild. You know, when he went to the States and blew up, I didn't see that coming. I'll never forget when I seen that footage. He sort of disappeared for a while. I heard he went to the States, and then this footage came out. He kickflip crooked guy on some handrail.
That was the one in Manly, I think, wasn't it?
And it was some footage that came out, and it was just like, oh shit, he's gone next level. And then his Baker parts started coming out, and it was like, and it was just so good to see him get that recognition, you know, because when he was in Australian skateboarding, he wasn't regarded as being in the cool crew, and he wasn't fitting into those crowds and probably getting sort of like pushed out a little bit like that.
Katoomba kid, eh? So kind of a little bit on the outskirts, but still just had to shine when he got there.
But again, been with Volcom for 25 years.
Yeah, he really, for sure. Still with him probably.
Yeah,
I haven't spoken to him in a long time, but I'm pretty sure he would be.
Yeah. So what kind of work did you do then when you started sort of going, okay, skateboarding, surfing may not earn me an income. What am I going to do?
Just whatever, man, to be honest. In realistic, like I'd literally just do some labouring work or whatever would come along my way, basically. Shout out to Shane Serena too, man. He owns Revolution Action Sports, man, and he's a chief, man, and he always had something going on, you know what I mean? Like, hey, do you want to come and do this, like work on this ramp or do something? He always had something going on for me, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I didn't really rely on him, but he always had my back, and I wasn't the best tradesman by any means, you know what I mean? I think it was there for more love factor, I suppose, but he always had my back, man. Like, gave me work whenever I needed or whatever, just kept me alive. And even when it comes to, we'll talk to it later, but when it comes to snowboarding as well, he was like one of my first sponsors when it comes to snowboarding, gave me a bit of cash to sort of help me along the way and that kind of thing. Yeah.
When did snowboarding come to fruition?
So what happened was I was in Cronulla and obviously skateboarding at the time, and it come winter time and it was like rainy and kind of shitty, there was waves for whatevers, and we weren't skateboarding that much. So I was like, one of my friends, Riley Robbins, was like, yo, Nate, like, I think you'd be a really good snowboarder. You should come down and try it. I can get you a job just working in a snowboard shop, just waxing boards or whatever. I said, all right, let's go for it. And that pursued into a 10-year career of just being pro and getting on some Quicksilver and, going really good for 10 years. I did back-to-back snow seasons for, 10 years. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you took to snowboarding so quickly?
I think, in all honesty, I wasn't scared, mate. I've did like ollieing down 15 stairs and doing handrails and these kind of things. And snow to me, it just didn't really intimidate me at all in the slightest little bit. And I literally got so worked the first time I tried snowboarding, fell on my face, got pumped. It just wasn't really affected by it. You know what I mean? I just wasn't scared of it. And I kind of got it better because it's literally a mix between surfing and skateboarding when it comes to holding your edges, hitting jumps, hitting rails, and the board stuck to your feet too.
So you're like, this is way easier than skateboarding?
I honestly, it is. It is. I know it's hard to hear and say, depending your trick calibre, but it kind of is, man. Like, it
is. But I do have a lot of respect for those guys that huck off massive kickers. Right.
I've done that also, though. You know what I mean? I can sort of speak from both ends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just feel like when I see those guys, start winding down the windows because they hit it on the wrong angle or something.
Yeah, you send 100 foot to the flats or something. That's no good.
It's crazy. Wow, man. How do you manage fear?
It's a great question. I try and block it out, mate, to be honest. Alcohol's a big thing too.
You drink much?
No, well, in Bali, yeah. But like when it comes to something serious, like right now on the way up here, I was like, I can't do this thing without drinking. I just want to have a couple of beers so I can relax. Because it makes you relax and you just kind of become just be able to have a better chat, I feel, instead of just being just less relaxed,
Yeah. Because like you're a boxer.
Yeah.
And, that requires it's just elite training. You can't, you have to be, you have to have solid diet, exercise regime, and, there's no cheating.
No, absolutely not, because you're going to find out soon enough.
When you get in the ring?
Oh, yeah.
Even sparring.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of the biggest things ever, actually, is the sparring part.
So in that realm, how do you manage fear?
Well, you just kind of got to rely on your training. You just got to be confident in yourself and like what you've done you think is enough to get you in there. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be in there if I thought I didn't deserve to be in there. You know what I mean? You kind of having you've done your training, you've done the thing, but the fun part is supposed to be the fight. Although I find that hard to, it's not that fun, but it's supposed to be the fun part, you know. Yeah.
It's funny, and I can tell you've had your nose broken a few times.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot to do with boxing for sure.
How do you feel about that? Like,
no, I'm proud of it.
Yeah,
I don't really care. Nah, whatever.
You've got such a boxer's nose.
Yeah, it's been beat up. It's definitely been beat up. It's just like you ever speak to the UFC fighters when they got
in a nice way.
No, I don't care. I'm laughing.
It doesn't look bad. It's
I
just
love
like,
it.
Second I seen, it was like, oh,
Yeah,
he's a boxer. I love it.
that's so funny.
Cool boxer.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Have you ever spoken to UFC fighters and had those cauliflower ears?
Yeah.
And they go, no, like I love them. Like, and they're proud of them. You know what I mean? Like they've earned it in a way, in a weird way. They've earned it. So,
yeah. And when they stop training and stuff, those do settle down. They get them syringe and stuff.
Do they?
Yeah, they get them syringe, and then there's a lot of the fighters will have them when they finish their careers. I heard that they get the ears sewn back because you know how they start to fold out,
Right?
Because they're constantly getting folded back.
Totally from
rest stretches.
Yeah,
and they get
right.
Yeah, but I've said this on the podcast a lot, and tell me if you agree or disagree. I feel like every person needs to at least spar in a ring once in their life.
I think it would take a lot of smart-ass people out of the streets if they actually did, because it'd be very humbling.
It is. Do you feel like even when you spar or in the boxing ring, do you feel very... I know I feel it. I just feel like my whole character's on display.
Absolutely.
How do you sit with that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree, 100%.
Yeah.
But at the same time as well, you've done your training as well, right? So you kind of know how to take care of yourself. You know the scenario. Obviously, there's always bigger fish. There's always someone going to be better than you. And 90% of the time, you're sparring someone that's better than you. I have anyway. And that's what makes you a better fighter, makes you a better boxer, because you're fighting someone that's had more training, more experience, and he's probably bigger.
And do you get more comfortable with... like more training?
Absolutely.
And more sparring?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Les Sherrington, man. That dude's helped me so much. Shout out to Ryan Waters too. Those dudes have helped me so much just when it comes to that sort of thing. Those dudes have had serious professional careers. You know what I mean? And when you get in the ring and spar those sort of dudes, Michael Katsidis too is a 4-time world champion. I was sparring with him for a bit too. Yeah.
What's that like when you're sparring with those next level guys? Man,
you're scared in a way. You're just like, if I get this dude, he's going to get me back 10 times worse. But then you kind of just go, well, actually, he didn't. Yeah. Oh, wait, I just blocked that. Oh, wait, I just countered that. Yeah. Oh, we're all right. You know, it takes that first little feeling out period to realise. But at first round ding, you're like, here we go.
Like you realise they're human.
Yeah, in a way, absolutely. You know,
it's funny because I had one of my past guests recently. He's an upcoming UFC fighter. Well, he's an MMA fighter, but he's going to crack the UFC. He grew up with Alexander Volkanovski. He trains with him. And he's been in Alexander Volkanovski's fight camp, and he went to Alexander's first world title championship fight and was in the camp for that. Not ringside, but backstage, helping Alex prepare and stuff. And he's surrounded by all the Max Holloway. They're all there out back warming up, and he goes, I worship these guys. He goes, but then you see them in reality, and you're like, you know what? They're just human like me,
right? But
they made a decision to just go all in, and they're just focused, and they got this passion, and it's really inspiring.
The Volk seems like a good dude. You just want to hang out with him, you know what I mean? Same as Izzy, all those dudes. You just seem like you just want to hang out with them.
Yeah. Do you like UFC?
I love UFC. Whenever it's on, I'm honestly all in.
I love it, man. I've just become so obsessed with it.
Likewise. I think it's a great sport.
Would you ever get into it?
I think I'm too old now. But if I was younger, probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's just so much more to learn. We've got the stand-up when it comes to boxing, but there's just so much other stuff that comes along with it when it comes to the kicking, the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, everything else. It's
layer after layer.
It really is, man. That's why it's called mixed martial arts, right? And I've got one element of it. You need about 5 more.
Yeah, and it's just such a different sport. That's why when Conor McGregor, fought Floyd Mayweather, I always knew it was going to be a farce. I mean, even though it was still a good show.
I think he put in a great performance.
It was.
I think he did well for the first 2.
Yeah, but boxing, I just feel like you can't compare it because there's a lot more. It's like there's a lot more technical rules and things you can't do.
Yeah. So
I was impressed by Conor for doing that.
Yeah, I do too. I would have been impressed with his paycheck too, though. It wouldn't have been a small amount. It would have been massive, probably.
I'm sort of surprised. Like, why is he? I mean, I've seen some footage of him training. He's gonna have another fight. I'm like, he must be doing it for pure passion.
Have you seen him now, though? He's that jacked and that big. He's almost in heavyweight contention. He's massive.
What division would they put him in?
I don't know.
He'd have to drop some kilos.
I don't know. Almost steroid division, I suppose. I don't know what he's doing, but he's massive. But I guess because he broke his leg, right? He's got to work all that stuff back, right? He's got to get his muscle, everything.
Maybe that's the theory, hey?
Yeah.
Well, like you were mentioning earlier that you're going to Thailand soon.
Yeah, February for the first professional fight.
Wow, dude. Straight boxing, not Muay Thai.
No, definitely not Muay Thai. Straight boxing. Wow. Yeah.
What a good excuse
Pattaya.
to go to Thailand.
Danger zone, but yeah, should be fun.
Dude.
Have to stay out of trouble.
Dude, make sure the night is like the fight is like the first couple of nights you get there because you'll part.
Yeah, it's not though. It's not. We're there for 2 weeks prior just to climatise and train, and yeah, it's dangerous.
No partying.
Mate, it's going to be hard.
It's going to be on afterwards though.
Yeah, 100%. You know, but that's. I mean, I've put in the work prior. It'd be stupid to wreck it 2 weeks before. I don't want to get bashed. You know what I mean? You probably would. Imagine some little Thai dude like just going ham on you. Yeah,
a guy I train with, I used to, because I've actually put the boxing down for a while. I just needed a break from it. I was just feeling really burnt out, and I think I'd overtrained. And my trainer has spent a lot of time in Thailand, and he used to say that. He said, you know, you go to these gyms, and the men, the boys are just so gentle and kind, but then you see them, and they're absolute killers, and they've had 100 fights. You know, and they're these skinny little dudes, and they would absolutely kick the
Flick
shit
the switch.
out of you.
Any Australian dude would probably have a fight, let's say once every 2 months. Those dudes fight every 2 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just part of their that's part of their whole stigma.
What's a meditation for them?
I have no idea.
Do you find boxing as a meditation?
I do in a way. For sure. Because it just releases, all your stress goes. You feel a lot healthier. You've got no qualms really, and you're that tired, you sleep better.
That's true.
You know, I find it hard. In Bali, do you find it hard to sleep over here? I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't sleep properly.
I can't believe you said that. I've been having the shittest sleeps. I'm either too hot or then I put the AC on and I'm too cold.
Yeah, and then your throat dries out and you feel like you've swallowed about 7 moths. You just can't, yeah. It's the worst.
That's exactly it, dude.
I'm not to complain because we live in paradise, but in saying that, it's like, man, I've struggled, man. I got up this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, couldn't wait for the sun to come up just so I could go to the beach and check the waves, you know.
So tell me about your Bali lifestyle. So you live here full time or on and off?
No, on and off. So I've kind of just stumbled across working in the mines a little bit. So I do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Okay. Just kind of through a friend or whatever and been hooked up a little bit there. So I've been doing that a little bit, but obviously I've just taken this month off just to stay in Bali. But yeah, I don't know, mate. We'll do it for as long as it sort of wants to be there, I suppose.
Yeah. Is it safe to say the mines are in WA?
Yes. So I fly into Perth, and then once you're in Perth, it's literally a 2-hour flight from Perth out to the mine site.
Yeah. Cool. So is it a lifestyle that's sustainable, you think?
Look, that's the $100 million question, isn't it really? I don't know, to be honest. At the moment, it's working. You know what I mean? But obviously, once I start training again full time, which is pretty much December, I don't know what'll happen then, to be honest. I'll just go straight into a training camp where I'm just full on every day. So I won't be able to do that, but we'll see how we go.
Okay, so you'll actually be able to put the work off for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. For sure, definitely. You kind of have to in a way. Like even that last little amateur one that I had, the last one, I think it was April this year, sorry, I should say. I put pretty much everything off for that as well. Just did 3 months of just solid.
Sick, man.
Yeah.
Amazing, dude.
Yeah.
So I want to go back a little bit. So you started really getting into snowboarding, and you said you did 10 years of that?
It was 10 years, yeah, back-to-back snow seasons. So it was either...
It turned into sponsorship?
Yeah, I turned pro. I was pro for Quicksilver and Stepchild.
Wow.
Yeah, proper getting pro. I won a few competitions, won the Mountain Dew Battle for Supremacy, won the PlayStation Dual Cross, won a medal in snowboarding X Games, won a bronze medal.
Where was that? Australia?
Australia. Yeah.
What was it? Was it half pipe or was it big air?
No, I was a slopestyle guy.
Slopestyle.
Yeah, so I was rails and jumps.
So I was going to say, for those that don't know slopestyle, it's like you do a run. It's got a combination of rails.
Yeah, so 5 or 6 rails at the top, and then you'll go into like a 35-footer, maybe another rail, then like a 65-footer, and the bottom jump's like 100-foot, 120 or something.
That's the one with the most street cred.
Yeah, I would say so, for sure. The big air one's pretty sick too, though. You can't deny that. But those dudes are just spinning tops these days. It's sort of hard to keep up. But I find the slopestyle stuff's cool because it gets technical, you know what I mean, with all the rail tricks and that at the top and then everything else.
Having experience with skate culture, surf culture, and snowboard culture, which one do you rate the highest?
you can't go past skateboarding, man. It's one of the best sports in the world. Like, it's so sick. Like, really? Like, even still today, man, when Elliot Sloan does a trick or Alex Perelson does, I still post it on my Instagram almost every day. I even hit Alex up the other day. I was like, you don't care if I post this shit, do you? He goes, nah, dude, it's dope. I appreciate it. Okay, cool. Because I just love skateboarding. It's in my heart. It's kind of where it all began for me in a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just love it. And I love the skateboarders. They're my friends and my family, you know what I mean?
I think the average non-skater doesn't realise the influence skateboarding's had on pop culture, fashion, street culture, footwear. You know, like it's...
No, 100%.
You know, you see any average punter that's wearing Vans would have no idea that they should be thanking skateboarding.
Where it stemmed from. Exactly right. Exactly.
bizarre.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Even when it comes to trend styles, it's all stemmed from that.
Like how baggy jeans are back in.
That's crazy, actually. It's all back in.
That was us in the 90s.
100% with small wheels and baggy pants.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like, and now I'm only just like, I'm still in the tight jean phase, and everyone's like, oh, you don't even wear baggy pants. Like, I was wearing baggy pants in the 90s. Like, so I'm kind of thinking, like, maybe I should stick with the tighter jeans now just because they go full cycle now?
Do the stretch fits. Just keep it still.
No, I have ditched the tight jeans, but
they're not super tight. Just get the thin relaxed. That's what I usually get. You know what I mean? You kind of half and half, and then no one can say nothing.
I don't want to be like a middle-aged man trying too hard. You know?
Well, that's a thing too, actually. Yeah, true.
Yeah. So you still skate?
I do from time to time, yeah, for sure, especially in Bali. So there's this place in Bali called Pretty Poison, which is like a spot bowl that I know. Shout out to Marie. She owns it. She's a legend. She pretty much hooked me up a lot and just said, hey, look, if you want to run the skate comps and do the MCing and do the DJ and that kind of thing, it's all you. Like, you whatever you want, pretty much. And I was like, cool, I'm super down. So I skate there a lot, but she just recently shut, but has opened a brand new one at Kadungu, which is like about 20 minutes past Chengdu.
Yeah.
It's called Pig Beach or something.
Oh, Pigstone.
Pigstone, sorry.
Oh, it's open there, did they?
Yeah, all the way down there. But it's not far away. Obviously, this rain's affected things, but it's literally 2 to 3 weeks away from pretty much being full steam ahead.
But that area's beautiful, man.
Super nice. Yeah. It is super nice. It's like the old Chengdu how it would have been back in the day, I think, you know, where she first started.
How do you feel about Chengdu nowadays?
Bro, it's just Seminyak on steroids. It's crazy. The traffic is hectic. But I don't want to be one of those dudes whinging about it either because, listen, we've just gone through the craziest pandemic and these dudes literally survive off you know, at the tourism, right? So you got to, you can't take the good with the bad with dudes come over and go, oh, I can't believe this traffic. Well, it's good. Better this than empty streets and they're not getting any money, you know?
100%. But, and also, I think what I'm blown about, I knew Bali was always going to come back, but I just didn't know. It just feels like it's just come back with a vengeance.
I agree.
Which is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But
especially now because wet season, it's still as busy as ever. Usually people just avoid this time of year, you know?
Yeah, I know, huh?
Yeah, but now they're here.
And it feels like wet season's come a little bit early too.
Yeah.
Piss rain last night.
Like for the last 4 days, right? It's been chaos. I don't know about up here, but Chengdu's been a mess. It's been going crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually been as bad, but last night, for example, it fucking poured down all night. And I actually thought I'd walk out and see everything flooded, but I think we're on a hill here, so it all runs.
Are you a fan butt when you're laying in bed? I just open my windows and doors and everything, just let it beam down. I love that.
How nice is it, dude?
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't sleep anyway, so I just left all the doors open.
Yeah. Are your headphones okay?
Yeah, they feel just a bit loose.
Yeah, I think they're on the wrong way around.
Oh, probably.
Like there's a left ear and a right ear.
So much for being a DJ, I got around the wrong way. Killing it.
But they do look ambidextrous. They do.
Ambidextrous headphones.
Actually, no. The cord's on the right. No. So they are on the right way.
Yeah, got it.
Maybe my bad. Sorry, I'll shut up.
Shit.
Shut up, dude.
Blowing me up and shit.
Sorry. Yeah, man, it's so cool. I just was thinking about how similar our views on the world are and what we do. But your DJ stuff, tell me about that. Like, what drew you to making music?
So in all honesty, I've kind of always done it on the side anyway. Like even from a kid, you know, I had friends that were sort of DJs, they had turntables and that kind of thing, but I never really took it serious. But I was just kind of doing it through my skateboarding and snowboarding. It's a side hobby. Yeah. And then when I was obviously snowboarding, I was living in Whistler and that kind of thing. I kind of took it to another level where I started playing gigs. Actually, funny story, my friend Ivan King, he's done a Bachelor of Music and he's a drummer. And one night I was like, I hit up the manager. I was like, we'll get a live drummer. I'll DJ. It's going to be epic. We'll call it the Beat Punks. And the guy went for it. So therefore, my friend Ivan, who plays like punk music, he had to start playing like house and hip hop. And he's learning to play on this like snowboard whatever it is, snowboard bag that I've got. He goes, the show's on tonight, and he couldn't believe it, but he sold it. That's where it pretty much stemmed from. So then I just started going from there and then playing. And there's a shop at Cronulla called Lowdown as well. They always had turntables. Lowdown?
Oh, yeah, Lowdown near this train station.
Yeah.
Sick skate shop.
Shout out to Gavin Aston. He always had turntables and vinyl and that kind of thing, and kind of was just playing around with him and that kind of thing, and it stemmed from there pretty much. Yeah.
That's right.
But now I'm full-fledged. Like, I actually make my own beats, do my own rapping, do everything, yeah.
Yeah.
When Slippery, when we did the tour, I did sort of DJ for him when he does a tour and that kind of thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Slippery Surf for connecting us. He
100%.
speaks really highly of you. He loves your music.
Yeah, we've known each other since we're like 6 years old. Went to kindergarten, primary school.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been a friend since the beginning.
I love that dude.
Likewise.
He's so sincere, and he's just really kind of actually not what I expect. It seems like in his image is a bit of bravado and stuff, but you meet him, he's so kind and friendly and nice and humble. He's just a good dude.
Totally.
Yeah.
I listened to his podcast just yesterday actually, because I hadn't heard it yet.
Oh, what'd you think?
I really, really enjoyed it. What you guys were talking about, relationship advice with Slippery and that, I was just going, where is this coming from? And that's a part, I've known the guy my whole life, and I didn't know that was a part that he, was kind of interesting to hear about.
Do you have a significant other?
Nah.
Not your jam?
Well, it is, but it doesn't take someone pretty important in my life to try and not derail it or just either be a part of it. You know what I mean? Not so much I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket before, because I've done that. Okay. And it's just kind of derailed me from what I wanted in my life, you know what I mean? Okay. I was kind of more concerned about if she was cool or she wanted to do this or whatever, but now I'm just like, I'm not doing that again. Okay. You know what I mean? I was in that period for nearly 2 to 3 years, just making sure she was all good, you know what I mean? Not trying to sound like she was selfish or anything, because it wasn't like that, but it was just like, that was not what I was into. Shit, I'm not having kids right now. I'm not doing that whole vibe, but I just thought maybe I was into it for a bit. Then I was like, nah, it's not me, Not yet. One day, but not yet.
It takes a lot of courage to listen to that intuitive sense. I think it's very easy to, compromise that out of fear of loneliness, right, or fear of lack of, want the security and stuff like that. I think a lot of people will compromise.
Do you have kids?
I do.
Do you? How many you got?
I got 2 kids, man.
Yeah, right. Good for you.
But I'm recently divorced.
Are you? How do you feel about that?
2.5 years ago. Well, you're the first person who've asked me that on here.
Yeah.
And I have avoided talking about it.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to say anything you don't want.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I miss my kids.
Absolutely, as you would.
I see them regularly.
Yeah.
But
whereabouts are they?
I want to see them every day.
Whereabouts are they? They're
in Australia, in Newcastle area.
Oh, Newey.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, it's a journey. It's, it's this whole part of society and life that I actually was so clueless about.
Right.
I'd hear about people going through divorces and stuff, men and friends and the whole scenario, but never really understood how gnarly it is.
Right.
And it's fucking gnarly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I know it's brought a lot of good people down and unstuck.
Right.
Yeah, so that's been my experience with it, and I'm still navigating it. But shit, you got me on the spot. You
sorry, retract that statement.
No, it's good. It's good because you know what, I get people on here, and I kind of like I'm expecting them to be vulnerable and open up. So it would be like remiss of me not to do the same.
Right, to do it backwards. Yeah. True.
Yeah, you seem like you're pretty content with your lifestyle. So you're like, no, I don't want a girl to come in and would a girl have to come in and adapt to what you're doing, or vice versa?
I wouldn't be that selfish to say that. I'd just be like, you'd have to be pretty important to me to make me go, yeah, cool, we can do this together. You know what I mean? Instead of just kind of being on the different train, I suppose. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, the last relationship I was in kind of wanted something else to what I wanted. But I was like, you know what? I'll go with it and see if this is what I'm really into. And I lasted 3 years, and I was like, you know what? By the end of the 3 years period, I was like, this ain't for me anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. Tell me if you feel the same, but because I'm in my 40s, I start freaking out going, oh, well, if I don't just settle down soon, I'm going to miss the boat.
But there's no rule to it, though. You know what I mean? There's no one that says you should be doing this at this stage in life. There's kind of this bravado that you should be, but there's really not. Like, it's up to you. Like, if you don't feel like you're fitting for it, you're not ready. You're not ready. You know what I mean? You can't force yourself to be ready for something like, I know I'm not ready. Not a chance am I ready to do that sort of shit.
You just seem like you've got so much energy flowing through you.
I just got other stuff I want to do. There's just so much in life that I haven't done yet that I want to do. And if some person comes into my life and wants to do it with me, sick. Yeah. I'm all about it.
it's really the one thing you can't control or organise or plan.
No.
It's just, it'll happen if it's meant to happen.
Right, and that's how previous relationships happen in the past. You put any pressure on it and you're trying to want something, it just never happens like that.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. As much as you want it to, it doesn't.
This is good messages. Man.
Yeah.
Good messages. Look, let's start chipping away at your life journey. So, the snowboarding thing was pretty epic. You know, you reflect on it with really fond memories.
Yeah, absolutely.
No major injuries.
No major injuries, actually.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, super good, actually. You know what? Touch wood. Is there any wood around here? But I've literally been pretty injury-free throughout even the skateboarding and the snowboarding scenario. Like, a lot of people kind of went down from it and did some heavy injuries, but I kind of got away scot-free. Like, I didn't really have any bad ones. Obviously, like, heel bruises and knee bruises and, you know, wrists and that kind of thing, but nothing crazy. You know, no knees and that. I know it's my friend Bart, and he just got his hip replacement, and he's got Bart Carnes. Yeah, he's got a hip replacement recently, dude. He was out, but a couple other people like Ty Cole, he's like 3-4 knee replacements or something. You know,
Ty is a gentleman.
He is a gentleman.
The original Australian vert skater.
Yeah, he will love that. He will love that.
Oh, him spin out,
yeah, fully
spin
and Jake were homies.
And I'm going to throw a name out there, and not a lot of people.
Finos.
Oh, Finn, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But there used to be this vert skater from Fairfield Vert Ramp, Shan.
Yeah, right.
And I think if Ty Coling or Spin Out or any of those guys heard this, they'd go, "Oh my God, Shan."
Yeah.
Yeah, he was this Vietnamese Australian vert skater from Fairfield. And,
yeah, right.
And he was just wild to watch. Yeah. So what? Ty had a hip.
No, so Bart had a hip replacement. Yeah, Bart had a hip replacement, but because of injuries, I just come up with, because he's got like 3 or 4 knee replacements or something like that. He's had a few massively.
Really?
Yeah, but they're all vert dudes, right? So any sort of vert sort of skating like that is also so gnarly on your body as well. You know, just from slamming on your knees the whole time. And I think majority of the reason why Ty got his done is because of that reason. You know,
that's why I always spin out at like Tony Hawk and Steve Caballero and those guys like. Still skating vert after all these years and cruising, and it's just amazing. The thing that's brought both of those guys undone was like Steve Caballero, I think, broke his femur riding motocross.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
That held him back, and then Tony Hawk recently broke his femur as well. It might have been skateboarding, but I think he did a post on Instagram saying like after all these years, finally it caught up with me. I had a major injury, so. So where did life go though? Like, tell me about like. So the snowboarding dream started to fade off. What happened after that?
But the music thing really started to really sort of take off a little bit, you know what I mean? For me personally, it wasn't really that the music thing took off as such. It was more that my passion for snowboarding was dying and kind of creative. I needed to put my passion elsewhere, you know? So I kind of just devoted it a little bit more to the music than I did to snowboarding. If you do something back-to-back for 10 years straight, anything's going to wear off and because the novelty wears off, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think I reached the pinnacle of what I could have done in the snowboarding world, I think anyway, you know. Double flips were starting to come in, triple flips and that kind of thing. I'm like, am I really going to start doing these at like 35 years old? Do you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of broke it down for me where I was like, I think my time's up here.
I'm done.
Yeah, a little bit. I think I was like, you know what? I think that's the end of it. Yeah.
Do you think some people hold on to the dream for too long?
Yeah, maybe. But it's all self-knowledge, right? If you think you can do it, go for it. I'm all about it. Yeah. How funny would it be to see some 55-year-old dude out there doing triple flips or something? It'd be sick. I'll be all about it. But your body just goes, listen, champ.
Yeah.
Hang up the boots.
For sure. I just started thinking about Kelly Slater.
Well, that's a different kettle.
Yeah. He's done a lot for people in terms of planting the seed that, hey, you can maybe go longer than you think.
Yeah.
You know, and then I did a podcast recently with Chris Markovich. And
did you? Markovich was sick.
Markovich, dude. And he's just turned 50 and he's like gaining new sponsors. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, and he's a real testament to like, hey, you can still keep this going. And he said he looks after his body and he's like, he said he put skateboarding down for 10 years.
Yeah.
And, I'm just going to start tinkering with this. Like, hang on, I've still got something.
I follow him on Instagram. He's seen his little clips and that he posts. He's ripping again.
And then he was on 9 Club recently.
Was he really? I haven't seen that episode. That'd be sick.
I got him before the 9 Club.
Did you?
But his episode on 9 Club's epic.
It would be.
Actually, like a lot of people are saying that it's one of the best 9 Clubs because he was really involved deeply with like Rocco and World Industries in the early days. Right. And some of his stories about, because it was wild, like Rocco and World Industries were just making so much money from skateboarding, and he just gave a bunch of 15 to 20-year-olds as much money. He's just like, go and do whatever you want.
Right, but that was the pinnacle of when skateboarding was blowing up too, right? There was so much more money around then.
Well, yeah, he was like on the forefront of like, hey, Vert's dead. I'm going to blow up all these street skaters now. So, and Markovic was sort of part of that. But it's so interesting. But yeah, I think we can keep it going through good living. You know, like I don't drink anymore, and eating well and keeping up with some exercise. Like I'm just about the long game now.
Do you find it hard not to drink, or you just literally one day just went, that's it, I'm not doing it anymore, I'm going to stop completely?
I don't find it hard to drink, no. To not drink. There's no compulsion to drink. Never really enjoyed it, but
okay, right.
For me, it became a thing where I was like, it's just not serving me anymore, and I just got to, I was 35 and just went, I'm just so sick of having hangovers, and it's just something I just thought I'm just going to stop for a while, and I did. And then it actually like uncovered, all of a sudden I started like learning a bit more about myself, and it actually forced me to face up to some bullshit about myself. Like I started thinking more deeply,
right,
and analysing my behaviours, and it put me on this path of a bit of like fucking rigorous self-honesty, and went, hey, I've been carrying on like a dickhead. So, and then I sort of got through a phase where I'd stopped drinking for a certain period of time, and I was like, well, I'm just going to keep going now. You know, and now it's something I really hold close to my heart. It's like this little, it means a lot to me now. I don't want to let it go.
Good on you, man. Hats off to you, dude, for sure. Like, I find it hard, to be honest with you. I've tried a bunch of times, and I'm just like, can't do it.
Oh, like I miss it. I don't judge. I definitely don't judge. It just wasn't for me. But I think, it's my addictions to things are different now. Like I'm addicted to exercise. I don't even know if that's a good or if it's healthy.
Absolutely, it is.
I do it in a sometimes in a negative way.
You're right.
The exercise, because I just it's an outlet, and it's a numbing behaviour actually. So working, become a workaholic. So still looking for ways to avoid what's going on in my head sometimes.
Yeah, but it's a good way to release energy too, right? If you're working out and working, that kind of thing, you need to do something.
Yeah, it's definitely more positive than
waking up with a sore head, for sure.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Thanks, brother. Shit, you're exposing me again.
Oh, dear.
What's going on here?
CIA up in here.
How you feeling? Is your back all right there?
No, I'm actually really comfy. I'm just enjoying this beer, actually, as we have this conversation about not drinking alcohol.
There's no judgment. There's like zero judgment. I still hang out with all my mates while they're having beers and stuff. Actually, you know what? That was the hardest part, is just like the people around me and friends, sort of like them accepting that Shan hangs out but doesn't drink. Yeah. And at first, that was the hardest part of it. Oh, like you can't connect with us. But I think over time, they've realised that I can hang out and connect, without having a few beers. Right. Yeah, and no one cares. So it's good.
No one should care if they're your homies.
Well, that's it. The ones
if they're
that
your real friends, they're not going to care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. How important are your friendships to you?
Massively.
Why?
In a way, they're your backbone. You know what I mean? Shout out to my old man, Rex Perry. He's an absolute chief. But I don't come to him with but I don't go to him with every problem I've ever got. You know what I mean? I'll quite talk to my friends if I've got anything going on and I feel as though, that, can talk about or whatever, In my younger days, I was real kind of just myself. I kept to myself. But as you grow older these days, I don't really care anymore. I'd rather talk about it with someone or whatever. And especially... Unfortunately, there's a shitty situation going on with a lot of suicide these days when it comes to like grown man and friends and that kind of thing. That's happened, so it forces you to talk to your friends about certain things.
What do you mean?
Well...
You've had some friends pass away?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Close ones, some not so close ones, but still acquaintances, especially my whole growing up. I don't know what it was, man, but there was a period there, it was like 5 years where a lot of them just went, and it kind of forces you to have that conversation with your friends. You know what I mean? It just to make sure they're okay. You know what I mean? Not only that as well, making sure everyone's all good. And a couple of times, man, I won't go into it, but there's been a bunch that's happened probably in the last 5 years that have been real kind of gnarly ones, Where you're like, fuck. You almost feel for no reason, but it's an internal mental thing that they're facing their own demons, Yeah. But you're never going to know that unless you talk to them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that's coming to me as I get older. I'm starting to have... This is happening more. It's a recurring theme in my life. I'm like, people I know are committing suicide. Yeah. And actually, I've had a guy on here, Jack Brown, who has a suicide prevention initiative called Talk to Me Bro.
So,
He actually always pulls me up. You should never use the term commit suicide. People that kill themselves.
what do you use?
Yeah, you don't say commit because it's when it promotes when someone makes a decision, they have to commit.
They've committed to it.
They
Yeah,
commit
right.
to it,
Right.
so you don't. It's just little things like that, like changing the narrative around it. And
What's the better analogy?
Yeah, if you're worried about a friend, you say to them, "Are you going to kill yourself?
Yeah.
Are you thinking about killing yourself?" It's okay to ask that.
Yeah, 100%.
And people want to dance around it. But I think the world has been crazy and people are struggling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially us dudes.
That was a massive aspect too.
You
The world
reckon?
struggling there for a while. Oh yeah, for sure. People losing their houses and businesses and along those lines, and tough relationships we're in too with the whole COVID thing. You can't get away from your partner. You used to going to work every day and getting away, and then it just turned into this big monstrosity.
Did you? How was the pandemic times for you?
Actually, really good, to be honest. I just worked. I was lucky enough to just have a good job and just kind of worked all the way through it. I just ended up working at the oil refinery up in Brisbane there throughout the whole time. Yeah, we had a shutdown on, so I was allowed to drive to work the whole time. So it kind of worked out really good for me. I just saved heaps of coin. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's nice to hear.
Yeah, for once, one of the good ones.
Do you feel like it slowed the world down a bit? No?
It's a reset.
It was a reset. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. What do you think?
I think so. I think if I try to look for the positives in it, I think we needed it.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as it was frustrating sometimes being locked up and not being able to go out and stuff, it slowed me down. Granted, I was going through a divorce the whole time, but it gave me a chance to recalibrate and get my energy up and relax more. I was always go. And
Right.
it's okay, you can't go too far. You got to sit still.
Yeah, it forced you to sit back for a bit, take a look.
It's hard. I mean, do you find it hard to sit still?
Yeah, I actually do.
In that sense, I get that sense.
I've been diagnosed with ADD when I was younger, but I didn't believe it. I was like, whatever, maybe I just don't have it. But then maybe sometimes I do, I don't know. But
Is that like a self-diagnosis or a doctor?
nah, doctor. Apparently when I was in year 6 or something, my mum took me and she said, yeah, he's got it. And then she was just refused to believe it. And then I just went, so is it or isn't it? And she's like, I don't know. And then we just kind of just let it go.
There's people out there that say that ADHD diagnosis is bullshit.
Yeah, well, that was when I was 6, 7 years old too, so it could be anything these days. But I've never got it really checked up, and I'm content with who I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a high school teacher, so I see it
Are you?
Yeah, I am, bro.
Oh.
I am, but it's I see these kids. He's got ADHD, and I'm like, to me, he seems like a really active kid that doesn't want to sit in a concrete classroom looking at a whiteboard and staring at a book. He wants to be outside fucking, making stuff or climbing stuff.
I couldn't agree more, man. That's exactly what it was for me.
But he won't sit still and he won't be quiet. I'm like...
Because he's thinking about going surfing or skating or climbing a tree or something, whatever it is.
He's suppressing his personality.
Yeah.
His urges.
100%.
You agree?
I totally agree.
Yeah, I think I was ADHD. Maybe dyslexic as well. Just
Yeah? Think so?
Yeah, I have to really take my time to process things and read things, even still. But I've adapted. Yeah, I've been to a university degree, so got through it without any support.
Yeah, you killed it. That's awesome.
But again,
now you're teaching people. Wheel.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a while. I'm ready to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the passion's gone. But there was a lot of passion there for years. I really got off on it.
Yeah.
Helping young people and connecting with them that way.
What do you teach? Was it primary school, high school?
High school. I was originally a high school PE and health teacher.
Right. I feel as though that'd be my choice. If I was going to be a teacher, it'd be like PE, health. Yeah, it'd have to be.
I can tell.
You'd have to be.
Yeah. And when I was younger, the kids identified, he's young, he skates, and they like me. But now I'm old, and they don't give a shit that I'm into.
Yeah, but you still do those things anyway. It's hard to influence a kid, man. Let's be honest. They're so brutal.
Especially teenagers. They're thinking about two things, hooking up with each other.
So true, actually. What was you thinking about when I was that age?
And partying.
Yeah. I was the same, pretty much. Probably skateboarding and surfing, it was on my mind majority, but those things counted too.
And having a good time.
Yeah, just having a good time. You know what I mean? You're not really focusing on your schoolwork, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That was the last thing on my mind.
And good on them. That's what I have to do. That's what I tell them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Whew. So, let's just quickly start to get towards the end. So, snowboarding, gone into the mining, this lifestyle in Bali. Is there anything else you want to share with me that you feel like is pertinent to your life so far? Okay, actually, no. What are you looking forward to in the future?
a great question. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just looking.
Living for the now.
Yeah, I really am. I think I always have been, to be honest. I don't know. I don't really mind what's around the corner, to be honest with you. I just take it with my strides and just see where we're at. Just keep doing what we're doing and let's just roll with the punches, man. That's all you can do. What else can you do? You know what I mean? No one's got a crystal ball. You just got to go with it. Yeah. Pretty much, you know?
Things change pretty quick, eh?
Things do change, but then you just reevaluate, don't you? You just go, okay, well, this is me now, whatever. Yeah. I'm pretty content in sort of starting a business over here in Bali. There's a few options going on at the moment, so I just want to either whether have a restaurant or a little bar or something like that, just sort of just keep me in the loop sort of thing, so I can kind of flick the mining thing full time. Okay. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll just go just see what's around the corner, man. I mean, that's all we can really do.
Take it as it comes.
Take it as it comes. That's it, bro. That's it.
Mate, I'll tell you, that is the biggest reoccurring theme on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was talking to a friend of mine, Maury. He's 64, lives over here. He's the manager of the surf shop up at Padang here.
The Almeric one?
On board, yeah.
Yeah, on board, yeah.
On board, yeah. They have Almeric and Christensen boards. By the way, those Christensen
I just bought one.
Christensen?
I bought a 20.
Not the lane splitter?
Yeah, the green one with the green thing. And it's sick.
Got a little flyer, a little cutaway.
Super loose though. Like if it's a bit bigger, I'm going to go heavy. But it's like if it's 4 foot, it's on.
I literally I picked one of them off the rack yesterday. I was holding it going, I want to get one of these.
Take mine for a burn.
Oh, dude. Yes. Yeah, and he said the same. 64 years age, lived a lot of life, and just said, "Yeah, the more I try to control things, the worse I make it." So I just really let go, just go with the flow.
That's pretty true
and
too.
He's got a beautiful life now.
Yeah, right.
Beautiful life. He said it just because the more I surrendered, the better it got.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, something to think about.
Yeah, totally. That's pretty much where I'm at, though. To be honest, I couldn't agree more. That's pretty much what I'm doing. So just letting see what happens.
So sick. Now listen, it's been epic. I ask all guests to come to the podcast with like causes or charities they want to support or advocate for. I always like to just, use this as an opportunity just to give, people some ideas about how they can give back to the world and society. So what do you got for us?
Definitely the Red Cross in Australia, for sure. Definitely. And also that Beyond Blue that's taking care of the mental health situation.
Okay.
I'd probably be a big fan of your mate's one that he just said too. What he said, talk to me, bro.
Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, so that'd be the same scenario. All those three, pretty much, I would think, would be the epic ones. Yeah.
All right, sick. So I'll put a link to those three in this episode's show notes. So if you scroll down, you can click on the links. You can find out how you can be involved or just donate some money and, give back. Stop trying to take all the time. See how you can actually give. And you can find this episode on all the major platforms, including the website, terriblehappytalks.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Stitcher. But I ask this every week. Just go and give me a review. Give me some feedback on how you think I should improve and maybe some suggestions for guests. I'm open to that. And, I don't know, man.
Thanks so much for having me, man. I appreciate it, eh? It's been dope. You're epic. You're a super nice dude. I appreciate you having me, eh?
Thanks, man. What are you going to do for the rest of the day?
I'm going to go surf the Saba. I've actually got a DJ at 4 o'clock at the beach at Echo. And then yeah, I've got a DJ the Saba at the beach. Come if you want, but it's so far for you to go down there. But if you want to come, you come.
Where? Like at Surfers Bar? No.
Right next door, 03.
Oh, I know. Really?
Right next door, yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday 03 from 4 till 7. Yeah.
Pumped.
It'll be fun. It's usually fun. As long as the rain stops, it'll be pretty sick.
Have you got your set organised?
Man, I always do it on the fly, dude. I'm a hip-hop DJ, so I literally just whatever I'm feeling at the time.
What are you dropping in there? Give me some tracks that you would go, give me some go-to bangers that, that are going to...
Probably, like old school Next Man and like Dr. Octagon, bit of Woo, Redman, Meth.
Okay.
Mos Def. Bit of Death Wish Cast, shout out there. Yeah.
For those that don't know, describe Death Wish Cast to people who because they're Australian.
Look, absolute Australian hip hop kings. They're the Australian Beastie Boys.
Okay, there you go.
That's what I reckon, personally. And not only that, just the rhyming that Death Wish does is second to none. He's like does patterns and raggers and that. People can't even understand what he's saying half the time. He's said to me 100 times, I'm going to release a CD where they actually see what I'm saying because I don't really get it. But Dicey, Paul, Paul makes all the beats, and he's a dope graffiti artist. He's unique. He's the best, dude. And then there's Dicey, Murder One, best on cuts. He's the Australian DMC champion, also the judge as well for him. And then there's Thomas Rock, who's like a hip hop encyclopedia, does that show on FBI.
Sick, nice. Where can people find your music?
SoundCloud. Secret Wepn, SECRTWEPN on SoundCloud, or Nox1, which is the MC stuff for NOXONE, Nox1.
Okay, dude. Go and check it out.
Check it.
Yes, brother. What a pleasure, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thanks very much.
I appreciate you.
Thanks, bro.
Let's go and enjoy Bali.
Yep.